And yet I am still startled. I can feel that there is something wrong with the figure shown in the mirror. As if there is something extra. And as if something that ought to be there is missing. Just as that paradoxical notion entered my mind.
What?
You back to normal yet? In that case, time to go a-killin'. It's not our style to lose all the time, eh, Master? With that one word, he erased a small doubt that something was out of place. Master. Why had I forgotten that word? The battle for a miracle, 7 magi putting their lives on the line. The master of the ultimate familiar wielding the Holy Grail. That is why I am here. To participate in the great ritual known as the Holy Grail War of this Asian island country. The Holy Grail is a holy artifact said to grant the wishes of its master, but there is yet to be one who has obtained the true Holy Grail. It is ultimately no more than a legend. The Holy Grail summoned in Fuyuki is an imitation based on this legend. However, though it may not be the original, as long as it is a powerful artifact that grants wishes, it is called a Holy Grail. To the Magi, the matter of true and false is a lesser issue. The main concern is whether or not that imitation is powerful. In that case, the Holy Grail in Fuyuki could be said to be of great concern. So yeah, that's 726 of all the investigations of Holy Grails in the world, I'm pretty sure. Is this what she was told at the Mages Association? Because I know that's where she's from. That was the decision of the Mages Association, an organized self-defense body for the concealment of magic. The Holy Grail War of this land is a competition between Magi. There is a limit to the number of participants. The association was allowed only 1 seat. The person to be chosen was one who was a specialist at combat. A person that was suited to use magic not for the sake of academia, but as a weapon. It's really tragic we never got to see Bazet in action, but maybe we will now. I mean, it sounds like he wants her to go kill with him. Oh my god. But it doesn't seem like she's realized that she's been dead well past the ending of the Holy Grail War, of course. It is a Far Eastern island country's ritual, one that has nothing to do with the faction struggles within the association and is nothing but a nuisance. A battle where defeat is not allowed, but victory would bring no glory. I was selected for that very battle. This meant using an artifact passed down within my family as a summoning catalyst for my servant. Wait, what was the catalyst for Ku, and it was passed down her family? Oh shit. Carrying the burden of the prestige and trust of the association and the means to fight, I departed. We are not worried in the slightest. Wouldn't you agree, Bazet Fraga Mikuremitz? You are an excellent magus. There is no one better than you in combat. If there were, your position here would become shaky. I feel like I know this voice. It's someone at the association that maybe I heard when I watched Case Files of El Malloy, but I can't think of it. It's been a while. Laughing spitefully, they saw me off. As they said, it was only in combat that they had absolute faith in me, as well as derision. Tradition Carrier, God's Holder, what? The other name I am called by, what? An ability in magic making use of the old blood passed down in my lineage that determined who I am. God's Holder. Yes, I joined the Holy Grail War as a master. To fight in and win the war as a magus of the association. That is my mission. That alone should have been my mission. But why? I have a vague feeling that I was looking for something other than the Holy Grail. Something or someone. If that was the case, there may have been someone I wanted to meet more than getting the Holy Grail. I can't remember what happened to me in the last few days. I know who I am, but what happened later, what happened since I came to Fuyuki is a blur. Oh, she can't even remember. I remember joining the battle as a master. I remember patrolling the city with my servant. There are still many blanks. The last few days, that's right. My memory of everything that has happened since I came to this city has been clouded. Why have I been sleeping in this house in the first place?
Oi. いつまでもボケっとしてんじゃねえぞ。
Hello? How long are you planning on spacing out, lady?
時間もねえんだ。さっさと片付けに行こうぜ。
You don't have all day. Let's go wrap things up. Dude, what are you talking about? The figure that is speaking to me. He is a servant, a being given form from the summoning of a legendary hero, what is called a heroic spirit. They are the most powerful familiars that a human being can control. There is a path between master and servant to supply magical energy. My magical energy, or to be more direct, my life energy, is what powers that servant. I can tell that my body is acting as the wedge that pins this servant to this plane of existence. He is definitely my servant. But still, was this the servant I summoned? And it was not. Very strange. Like, when is this happening? With Shiro and company, that was 6 months after the war, but this could easily be like interluding to an earlier point where that would still be possible.
お前は私のサーバントなのか?
Or even just like just post the war. I don't even know. I have no idea. Are you my servant? I asked while struggling with this headache.
Huh?
Say what? Servant rose up and is now staring at me, finally noticing that something is amiss.
あんたさ、
Oh ho. Hey lady.
その様子からすると、まだ本調子じゃねえってこと?
From the look of you, I'm going to guess that you're still not ready to fight. The shadow sways almost like a flame. I can feel it in my guts. This man may be my servant, but he is certainly not on my side. This is the sort of wild animal that would kill his master to become as free as soon as he gets the chance. The relationship between master and servant is not based on trust among employer and employee. It is only a relationship of cooperation, based on mutual gains and losses. Letting down one's guard, showing even the slightest weakness, means risking being stabbed in the back that very instant. Uh-huh.
おい、心配して相棒様が聞いてるんだぜ。答えるのが筋ってもんじゃねえの?
Hey, your concerned partner is asking you a question. You're supposed to answer.
そうですね。正直に言うと、私の性能は低下しています。
Yes, I suppose I should. To be quite honest, my abilities have suffered a decline.
運動に支障はありませんが、意識に混乱が見られます。特に昨日の記憶が曖昧だ。
There's no hindrance to movement, but my mind is in disarray. In particular, my memory of yesterday is vague. There's no benefit hiding the cloudiness in my memory. I look back at the servant and reveal my current disorder. However, I didn't reveal what had to be hidden. I cannot tell him that my vision is weakened, nor that my memory is not vague, but rather missing. These are my current weaknesses. If I told him, that servant would immediately bare his fangs at me. Very smart. The best I can do is behave normally while getting information from the servant and trying to recover my memory.
記憶が曖昧? 俺を呼んでおいて何も分かってない。聖杯戦争のことも、自分が誰かも分からないってのか?
Or is this taking place during the 5th Holy Grail War? Like the one that leads to this? I am so like, huh. Your memory's vague? You summoned me, but you don't have a clue about the Holy Grail War or yourself?
おいおい待てよ、勘弁してくれ。それじゃあズブの素人と組んだ方がいくらかマシじゃねえか。
Got me some slack, lady. I would have been 10 times better off hooking up with a complete rookie.
いえ、自分が何者なのかははっきりしています。
No, I know very well who I am.
あなたを召喚したことも、マスターとして聖杯戦争に参加したことも覚えている。曖昧なのはその後だ。
I remember summoning you, as well as joining the Holy Grail War as a master. What is vague is what happened afterwards.
例えば、どうして私がここで眠っていたのか、どうもよく思い出せない。
For example, I just cannot seem to remember why I was sleeping here. Without showing any signs of weakness, I tell him the truth. Whether it worked or not, the taint of suspicion that the servant had been carrying grew fainter.
質問を返しますが、
I will repeat myself.
私はどうしてここで眠っていたのか、教えてもらえますか？
Why was I sleeping here?
なんでかって、そんなもん俺が知るが。
How the hell should I know?
この洋館を隠れ家にするって言ったのはあんただし、俺を召喚してすぐ疲れたから休むって言ったのもあんただ。そのあたり覚えてないのか？
You're the one that said you were going to use this place as a safe house, and you're the one that said you were going to take a nap because you were tired right after summoning me. Ring a bell? Yes, before coming to Fuyuki, I did investigate suitable safe houses as potential bases at the association. Among the ones I checked, yes, this mansion should have been one of those. My mind grows hazy. When I try to recall what happened, I start to feel faint. I shouldn't push myself too hard right now. I have to hear what happened from the servant.
この洋館を隠れ家にすると決めたのは私でしょう。それには覚えがあります。
Yes, I was the one that decided to use this mansion as a safe house. I remember that.
そして、あなたを召喚した。
And then, I summoned you. I remember indistinctly that this happened. I did form a contract with the servant in this mansion.
そうそう。で、すぐに眠ったんだよあんたは。名前だけ名乗って私が起きるまで行動するななんて言いやがった。
Right. Then you fell right asleep. You just told me your name and said something like, "Don't do anything until I wake up."
おかげでこっちはたまりまくりだ。
Thanks to you, I've been sitting here all day.
殺し合いに呼ばれたってのに、なんだってお預け食らってなきゃなんねえのかね。
Why do I have to take a back seat when I got called here to do some killing? Only my name? No, more importantly, what this servant is saying is dangerous. It's very reassuring that he loves fighting, but it will be a problem if he loves it more than is necessary.
待ちなさい。確認しますが、私たちは基本的な戦闘方針すら話し合っていなかったのですか？
Wait, we did not even discuss a basic battle plan?
ないよ。きっと必要なかったんだ。
Nope, probably didn't need to.
あんたは事前にこの町を調べていたろうし、俺だって聖杯戦争がどんなものか呼び出された時点で頭に叩き込まれてる。
You probably already checked out this city beforehand. Other stuff like what the Holy Grail War is supposed to be was knocked into my head the moment I got summoned.
要はより早く効率的に手段を選ばず他のマスターどもを殺していけばいいって話じゃんか。相談することなんてねえよ。
The point is just to kill the other masters faster, better, any way possible. Don't need no advice on that.
恐ろしい顔するなあんた。そう睨むなよ。おっかねえじゃん。
It's interesting to look at this, because, yeah, rather than looking at it as, like, what canon of ending of Fate Stay Night leads to this, I think this is just its own thing entirely. Like, it's establishing, like, its own 5th Holy Grail War that happened outside of Fate Stay Night. Like, whatever leads to the circumstances that, you know, he's here and, you know, Bazette is, like, revived, like, geez. Which I like. You know, it's a aspect I really like about the Nasu verse, how you can, you know, the parallel worlds and different timelines, you know, second magic and all that. So, yeah. Yeah, lady, stop looking at me like that. You're freaking me out.
何？俺気に障ることでも言った？
Can I say something that pissed you off?
ええ。あなたとは相互理解が必要なようですね。 私のサーバントがそんな考えなしでは腹が立つ。
Yes, it appears that we both lack an understanding of each other. It irritates me that my servant can be so thoughtless.
私は教会を代表する魔術師であって猛術家になる気はありませんから。
I mean, you did have a dog before, but he was a bit probably easier to control. I'm a magus representing the association, and I have no intention of being the master of a wild animal. I stare and try to intimidate him. Whatever, said the servant, averting his eyes. But if an understanding's what you're after, I think you're wasting your time. He mutters as if it doesn't concern him. Okay, I'll listen. What kind of fighting does Her Highness, the representative of the association, prefer?
ことは隠密に。無駄な戦いは行いません。
We will conduct matters secretly and avoid pointless battles.
まずは敵マスターの調査を優先。今回の聖杯戦争がどういったものかを把握した後、倒すべき順番を考慮し、撃破に移行します。
First priority will be given to obtaining information on hostile masters. After understanding the atmosphere of this Holy Grail War, we will consider the appropriate order of who to defeat first, and proceed defeating each magus one by one. You know, pretty smart tactics. Those were the orders received from the association. There you go. First, I have to gather information on the three families that administer the Holy Grail War, Einsburn, Tosaka, and Makiri. An investigation of the remaining three masters will proceed afterwards. It may be possible to convince the Magi to abandon their master status. There also may be other outstanding Magi that ought to be taken into custody by the association. Lady, you have no idea. The shit Shiro later goes on to do is ridiculous. Oh, man. Besides, to act without proper information is an embarrassment for a magus of the association.
Huh?
Huh? Not your errand boy. Master, if you spot an enemy, you kill him. We're all in this killing business together. Once you come across one, you can't get away, and you won't let him get away. Didn't need him to tell me that. I feel the same way, but I can't disobey the orders of the association.
従いなさい。教会は神秘を隠匿するための組織です。下手な騒ぎはできません。
Do as I say. The association exists to conceal the supernatural. Cannot afford to cause a disturbance.
それに、無秩序に戦えば一般人に犠牲が出てしまう。
Also, an unruly fight will only lead to the deaths of innocent bystanders.
聖杯の入手は絶対条件ですが、町の人間を巻き込むことは極力避けるべきだ。
It is an absolute condition that we obtain the Holy Grail, but we must avoid involving the civilians of the city. Dude, what? Bazette. Dude, Bazette. Just a class act for a magus, and for a magus partaking in the Holy Grail War. Pretty damn fair. This is not only a matter of the Mages Association. The Holy Church also has involvement in the Holy Grail War. Should any damage be brought to the city, they will vigorously move in to conceal it to ensure the smooth continuance of the ritual. I mean, yeah, also, like, to be fair, it's mainly about the concealment that you don't involve, like, civilians and stuff, but still. We have seen that many masters in the past have not given a shit about that. Masters and servants. There is a limit to this, however. Last time in the Fourth War, there was a master that killed indiscriminately and daily. The priest monitoring viewed the master as an enemy and penalized him severely. Shout out Ryunosuke. He had to pause that whole war just for everyone to kill him and Jill. You're saying we gotta go by methods over means.
俺には思いつかないが、勝ち残るための一環として殺しはしない方がいいとか。
I can't figure out how, but it's better not to kill in order to win.
勝ち残るためではありません。私とて魔術師です。必要であれば手は下します。
This is not to win. I am a magus. If necessary, I will kill.
ですが、それでも人として最低限守るべきものがあるでしょう。
However, as a human being, there are minimum standards that should be observed. There we go. Thank you, Bazet. Thank you for just confirming that. As a human being, you know, at least meet that damn standard to not go that far.
そりゃ、なんつうか。
Oh, that's sorta. How do I put it? He sounds unenthusiastic. The servant apathetically breathes out and.
あんたさ、霊術使ってくんない？
Lady, how about using a command spell?
私には逆らうな、みたいな。そうしないと、あんたを真っ先に殺しそうだわ、俺。
Say something like, "Don't disobey me," because if you don't, I think I might kill you first. Holy shit, dude. Also, that reminds me of Rain's first command spell to Archer. I gulp. He is serious. He doesn't care about what would happen next. The rule of cooperating with the master for his own protection doesn't apply to him. This bastard is seriously aiming for my throat. The servant told me to use a command spell to stop him. 3 absolute rights of order that a master has. Powerful spells given by the Holy Grail. A master's trump card that can only be used 3 times, but ensures that any command is followed. For that reason, I answer him immediately.
断ります。飼い犬に命令される主人などいないし、飼い犬に殺される者など主人ではありません。
Speaking of dog, shout out to Ku. What's the whole day? So, in this Hollow Ataraxia world, like, we have Caster around, we got Kuzuki, we got this guy, now we got Bazet, you know, coming back to life seemingly. Yeah, I don't know. The mention of a dog makes me wonder, like, is Ku here too? Is he still around? Anyone who gets... I refuse. I have never heard of a master being ordered by a dog. Anyone who gets killed by their own dog does not deserve to be called its master. Ooh.
あなたは私のサーバントだ。あなたがどう動くか、あなたがいつ死に挑むかは私が決める。
So, being killed by their own master. So shout out to Atrum, Kirei, and UBW. Oh, jeez. You are my servant. I am the one that tells you how to move and when you march off to die. I forced back his bloodlust with my own. No matter what, if I used a command spell for something as frivolous as this, I had no future in this war. I clench my right fist and start carving runes onto the floor with my heel to be able to intercept an assault at any time. Ah. Yo, I mess with Bazet, man. She's like combating his... fucking bloodlust with... That is great, man. Love how, like... She's like methodical, she's smart, but she's also like standing up. She knows she has to stand her ground. She also used runes. That's very cool. I guess yeah, I guess the use of runes seems like a very like Celtic Irish thing. So like her, you know, her summoning Ku, like the relic passed to her family. At least that seems to be the case. I don't know. I'm not really well versed in that mythology, but it seems to be the case.
なるほどね。なら考え方を変えてみるか。
I see. Okay. Let me try having a change of heart.
OK。俺はあんたのサーバントだ。飼い主には従うよ。
Oh, well that works. Okay. I'm your servant. I'll listen to my owner. The servant gave in easily. It's, how should I put it? Anticlimactic? Yeah, it was pretty easy. And my heart was beating in excitement at the feeling that a battle was going to break out so I could learn how powerful servants were. Yeah, that would not have gone well for you. I have no doubt Bazette is super badass. But yeah, that level is usually not a thing. Humans versus servants. What now? You still got a problem? No, but... You really understand what I said? Yeah, keep the deaths to a minimum, right? That's your policy. I got it. Anything else? Got something else to say? There are many things I want to say in detail, but I have nothing else to say regarding a general plan. The rest I can do by giving orders depending on the situation. Okay, then let's go. I've seriously gotten sick of being here. The servant prods me to go out. I'm still physically unstable, but I'm curious about what is going on outside. And anyway, after sleeping for such a long time, I want to move around freely a bit. I understand. I will make more detailed modifications to our strategy depending on what we encounter. I regain myself. For the time being, I'll leave Rock behind. Oh. There are limits to that sword, and I can't use it fully in my current state. She has a sword? My god. After I locate the other masters, I can think about who to use it on. I don't know how to feel. But I've got to say this, lady. Keep the deaths to a minimum, huh? I like the sound of that. Yeah, it'd be great if I could do that. The servant repeats cheerfully. If you still have complaints, say them. You still have any opinions about my strategy, let's settle it here. Yes, she is. I told you, I get the point. I'm not gonna pick a fight with you yet since you're so scary. But look, Master, that's not going to be possible. All this stuff about killing people or getting bystanders involved is beside the point. I'm sorry? This town ain't going to last longer than 4 days, no matter how hard you try. No longer than 4 days. What did you say? Sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? You understand when you step outside. What you're getting worked up over stopped mattering a long time ago. The humans living here have been getting wiped out by these mysterious things pouring out daily. What is going on? Mysterious things. Ridiculous. You are just saying nonsense because my memory is... You'll understand when you step outside. Seeing is believing. The servant stifles his laughter. As I stand bewildered, the black shadow takes my hand and starts walking. Oh my god. So humans getting wiped out by mysterious things. So it's the mysterious things pouring out daily that has me confused. Humans getting wiped out could refer to Heaven's Feel. Like, because that's when that happens, you know, the shadow goes around killing everyone. And even the title we saw at the very beginning of this sequence said Heaven's Feel. But mysterious things pouring out daily is interesting.
今度こそ君の望みを見つけるために
Come, let's continue the Holy Grail War, Bazet Fraga McRemitz. To find your wish, this time for sure. She did say she was wanting to meet someone, like besides coming for the Holy Grail War. But no, seriously, what is going on? The house was built on top of a high hill. It lies hidden within a forest, separated from any human habitation. My head aches. I had thought that breathing the outside air would clear myself more or less, but instead, the cold night air only clouds my thoughts further.
どうしたマスターまだ外に出るのは早かったか
What's wrong, Master? Still too early for you to get out? The servant pokes fun at me. I shake my head and keep going. My mind is still sluggish. The bright moonlight seems to be the source of my disorientation. I know this bridge. And I know this CG too. It's quiet. Of course, it's past 2 AM, but the city is abnormally silent even for this time. It slightly resembles my own hometown. God, the music in this so far is great. Oh yeah. Me those drums and that bass. The port town I spent my childhood in. At night the tide would come into the town and people would shut themselves in their houses as if they were afraid. The empty city was almost like a ship sunk at the bottom of the ocean, prompting a younger me to want to run away from that place. I must have felt that everybody would have forgotten that I existed if I had stayed like that, at the bottom of the ocean. I couldn't help thinking about the old gods that nobody remembered anymore, sharing the same cursed fate. Huh. Interesting. And now Fuyuki is being submerged into the ocean depths too. The atmosphere is different from the one I remember. It is too quiet. It might as well be an abandoned city. Regardless, only the presence of life is evident. I could feel almost countless numbers of creatures breathing. Surrounding me is an aura that I have never felt before. Mysterious things is what my servant said. I don't want to admit it, but it seems that there is credibility to what he says. Oh, wonder what's that? We've been walking for some 2 hours. Servant stops in his tracks and is now gazing at a particular residence.
すげえな。この辺りは見て回ったんだが、まだ残っていやがったか。
Whoa, I've been around this area before, but to think there was still someone who didn't get the hint to leave. He speaks with an impressed tone. The house he is looking at is nothing more than a regular building. If there is anything that distinguishes it from the other residences, it is the one fact that the lights are on.
あんたはそこにいろ。まだ本調子じゃねえんだろ
Stay here. You're still not ready, right?
一足先に俺が様子を見てきてやるよ。
I'll go take a look first. The servant starts walking towards it on his own accord. Try to chase after him. Pathetically, I am thrown off by the moonlight. Dude, Bazette is in a real bad spot. I love getting insight into her character, like actually her character. You know, finally. But what's going on here is like real scary, dude. Like what? Everyone's been being killed or disappeared by mysterious things, and like there's like no one here anymore. Like even he's saying that, oh, someone didn't take the hint to leave. Like what the hell? I've got to be honest here. I can't speak for the other servants, but see, me, I didn't feel like doing this from the get-go. Oh, we're him right now. High-level magic, the summoning of beings purified into the level of legends, and the giving of form to them to make them familiars. That's what servants are. See this CG right here. If somehow you are watching this blind with me, and you don't know who this servant is, you should recognize this image from the Heaven's Feel route. Not something so cheap as just borrowing a piece of the power of the heroic spirits, no. It's actually a projection of the guy himself. A resurrection just for the Holy Grail War. A clone with a short lifespan. A guardian of humanity reborn into the modern era. Sounds nice and dandy. Autonomous weapons are pretty convenient, right? Except replicating even what's on the inside is going a little too far, don't you think? Familiar being able to think doesn't do anyone any good. That goes double for servants. Suppose there's a familiar more powerful than its master. Now let's say it can think for itself. There's no reason why it won't revolt. I was lucky enough to be summoned by a master that was my type of woman. Personally, I'm satisfied with her, but it looks like I'm going to be doing some disobeying. Yeah, the circumstances here are so crazy. Why? Well, why not? I might not have any complaints about the boss, but I've got a hell of a lot to say about society. I feel like shit, like I was left hanging in the morgue. Back when I was alive, the world was still lively. Nowadays, it's old and dying. Got a few 100 million years left before it kicks the bucket, and it's too late to do anything about it. Being one of those fellows that knew what she was like back in the old days, it wouldn't be right to not be a little angry about her current predicament and all that. Of course, it was pretty obvious that she'd be clean dry one of these days, but damn, that was fast. Huh. Now there's a part of me that's got to hate my own species for that filthiness, but another part of me wants to pat them on the back at the same time. This is a human kind of self-aware of what we're doing to the world, or I guess nature, it would be. The power of humanity is incredible. Oh, how morals have come and gone in the blink of an eye. Makes me wonder just how many new generations of humanity have been born and how many have been wiped out. Given how fast they are, it's too bad how they haven't come up with a kind of evolution that's environmentally friendly. Got to hand it to them hominids. They sure did a great job at amplifying a ready-made system instead of finding a new kind of cycle. But that means there's no future ahead, so if they can buy a little more time, it'd be nice if they'd come up with some new kind of improvement and kept going. We've already gone to all the trouble of destroying this much. Where do we want to go? Why have we exhausted the land? Was this good? Was this bad? I want results that anyone can understand. Even if the answer is that it was a failure, I don't mind one bit. Honestly, all this is a bit too real to reality, to be honest. It's interesting that this is what he's thinking. Oh man, I really got to wonder what the others are thinking. Those of heroic spirit status must have feelings of animosity towards this era. Then again, heroic spirits are supposed to be on humanity's sides, so that would mean they'd approve of whatever result humanity brings about. Just like how I do the opposite of that. Let's say there was this godlike absolute being as a force of good. Let's say he was summoned here in this day and age. Now what would he do? Would he approve of it? Would he act to protect us? If he approves, we face extinction. If he protects us, he'll watch on. A sane heroic spirit would choose the latter. One with a few screws loose would happily lend a hand, and another with only one screw left would get excited at making the world a better place. Something like, I am going to save the world. Wow, I don't ever want to meet that kind of guy. Let alone fight him. Yeah, we know someone like that. Now as for me, there's only one thing I can do either way. I may be a heroic spirit, but I'm not that strong. Take a look at all the legends in the world and you still won't find anybody weaker than me. Yeah? Yay, I'm number 1. You're damn lucky, master. Can't get any lower than this. Easy to make up a battle plan since all there is to do is think about how to take on the strong. I don't want to think about it, but there's a good chance that lady's stronger than me in pure fighting ability, dude. Damn. A heroic spirit getting his ass kicked by a human? Oh boy, I want to disappear. Yeah, I really can't agree with that lady. Don't cause any deaths, that's what she said. That's the way to go, milady magus of the House of Whatever. I can't expect to find a strategy that reeks of sheltered girl on honor roll, fitting sense of pure humanity for a master. But hey, I can't do that. All I can do is kill. Honestly, a bloodless victory is a pain in the ass. I'm already the weakest. I'm not going to be winning if I'm a goody two-shoes. This thing does have war in the name, so we ought to be relying on the slaughter techniques that man had so painstakingly developed. Knowing what we know about this guy from before, and like his monologue now about how he sees humanity and how he sees the world, and like his tendencies now and his thoughts on Bazet, this is really cool. Servants are one thing, but masters are humans. It'd be way easier to take them out with mines and explosions like the last time. Well, Kiritsugu thought so too. Well, times have changed. Last time things were a lot more chaotic, weren't they? Life was cheaper back then, but now... This time things are different. The Mages Association is watching oh so painstakingly close. Plus the system of public safety that modern man has created is not too shabby. If I run wild, the other masters will figure out where Bazet is. Now I don't mind finishing off a horde of people nice and fast, but consecutive fighting on consecutive nights is going to exhaust me, so I want to avoid that. On that point, the part on Bazet's strategy about not going overboard is fine with me. It makes sense why he'd agree with that as well. So I'll try my best to follow the master's plan, like a good servant would. Well then, with that out of the way, let's turn back to what we have now. Wait, what are you going to do? Ignoring my hesitant master's voice, I'm heading to the house. I don't have to bother checking. The fact that the lights are on means there are live humans inside. Fortunately, I don't have any human or heat detecting abilities. My servant skills can be summed up as nothing. But that's okay. What's inside there is human. I dematerialize myself and pass through the front door. I manifest my weapon and go towards the people in the living room. Let's finish this fast and cruel, like always. Oh god. Now for all I know, there could be some accident like the strongest ultra-humanoid in all of human history is inside, and has powers that surpass a heroic spirit. No problem whatsoever. There are some monsters in the Nasuverse. Because like some humans just have such broken abilities. But like Mystic Eyes of Death Perception, for example, like I could kill, but a servant is just like way too like you have the opportunity to slash a servant. Even with that is still like, from what I've been told, is apparently just because of their speed and their like they would just kill you faster than you'd be able to do that. I may be the weakest, but I can defeat the most powerful human being. Why? Because it's not something to brag about, but when it comes down to dealing with humans, I'm the strongest. Blood splashes up in the air. The inhabitants are dead. Oh god. One middle-aged man, 2 boys, 1 granny, 1 old man holding a blood-stained knife. Oh, he's still alive. What the hell? Wait, the old man killed them? What a letdown. By the time I broke in, it was already over. What the hell? What? His breath is ragged and heavy. The mad culprit who massacred those 4. He doesn't pay any attention to me. Probably because he wants to take out the last geezer. Wait, what? Oh yeah, the old man is the last one standing against this thing. What the hell is this? The geezer backed himself up to the wall and is desperately shaking his head. The murder scene and method are pretty grisly to look at. Bodies are ravaged beyond recognition. Blood, flesh, and entrails are splendidly scattered about. The choking stench of life, a living space splattered here and there. The end roll for the Brady Bunch. Oh, wow, nice reference. Damn clean for a murder scene. Not one little flaw. After all, it was murder for murder's sake. No robbing, no raping, no hungering, not one bit of that here. Yikes. Somebody help. I'll save him since he asked. Since it was a surprise blow from behind, the murderer is killed easily. He saved him since he asked. After that, I'm back to my regular job. Wait, now is he gonna kill the old man after saving him? By the time I ran into that house, it was all over. Dude, did he just save that old man by killing the murderer and then kill the old man like he was going to? Oh my god. How could you? There are 5 corpses in the living room. I am able to tell by what appears to be 5 heads severed from the nose. It is a slaughter scene so grotesque that I could not have determined how many there are through any other means. Sorry about settling things before you got here. The servant says while standing idly in a pool of fresh blood. The servant's clenched hand is a warped dagger. A form that seems to be a mix of the fangs and claws of a beast. Is it meant to be gripped backhanded? I've never seen a weapon that looks so difficult to use. I'm actually not familiar with this weapon. So that weapon is his noble phantasm, his symbol as a heroic spirit. Is his noble phantasm. Now, don't look at me like that. How about it? Want me to give you the details? There's no need. That weapon and the wounds on those bodies match well enough. Yeah, because they were all severed the same way. The shadow laughs in agreement. There's no need to investigate any further. The situation told me that the cause of this tragedy was the servant. I have one question. Why did you kill them?
なぜって、これもあんたのためだぜ。俺は当たりを探しているだけだ。一人一人調べるのも、一人一人殺していくのも変わらない。
Is he not going to mention the murderer that was here before him? Could be one of those things that has been killing the people in town already. But yeah, he's just taking credit for all of them. Because it seems like, because all their heads are severed, so they were killed. And then did he just chop off the ones that were already dead to match the rest? Like, Jesus. Why ask why? I did it for you. I was just looking for the jackpot. Looking one by one's not different at all as killing them one by one.
要は目撃者を作らなければいいんだろ？ならよ、こうして潰していけば、いつかマスターに出会えるぜ。
The point is to make sure there are no witnesses, right? Right. So if we keep wiping them out like this, we'll run into a master eventually. You. This guy, he hadn't listened to anything I said. I was prepared to accept some sacrifices once I went into battle. I'm a magus, and I'm no different from a murderer. It really be like that. However, still, I never desired this kind of meaningless sacrifice. You enjoy killing people?
あ？バカ言うな。俺だって好きでやってるわけじゃねえ。こうして求められた以上、自分にできることをやっただけだぜ。
Huh? Don't be dumb. It's not like I like doing this. Doing the best I can for what you wanted me to do.
あのさ、人型をしてるからって勘違いするなよ、マスター。サーバントってのは、つまるところこういうもんじゃないのか？
Now look, just because I look like a human, don't go thinking I am one. When you get to it, aren't servants supposed to be tools for this kind of thing?
質問に答えていない。
You have not answered my question.
私は人を殺すのが楽しいのかと聞いたのです。
I asked you, do you enjoy killing people? I glare at the servant. Holding that warped dagger, the servant.
とりわけ何も。第一、殺しちゃ楽しめねえだろ。いろいろ。
Not one bit. First off, if I kill them, I miss out on a lot of fun I could be having with them. Hehe. He directed a repugnant laugh as if he wanted me to share in his amusement.
貴様。それでも英霊か。
God damn, dude. You bastard. How dare you call yourself a heroic spirit? I can't restrain myself. It's strange. I've seen people like him countless times, yet without any reason, I feel disgust at this man's way of life. It somehow feels as if this man alone must not be forgiven.
あんたこそ、殺し合いが向かないんならマスターになんざなるな。しらけるんだよ、実際。
I could say the same for you, lady. If you don't like killing, you shouldn't have become a master. Seriously, it's a turnoff.
つまんね。せっかくのショーが台無しだぜ。喜んでもらえると期待してたのにさ。
Man, what a waste of a good show. I was so hoping it would cheer you up, too.
そう。悪いけど、その期待には最後まで応えられない。今確信したわ。私たちは反りが合わない。あなたは私が最も嫌う人格だ。
I'm curious if I know her voice actor from something else. I see. I apologize, but I cannot ever meet your expectations on that front. I'm now convinced we are not going to get along with each other. You are the type of person I hate the most. I turn my hostility towards my own servant. I direct hatred similar to annoyance at the person I have to gain trust from first. I'm not acting right. The immaturity of showing my feelings and hating someone should have been discarded long ago.
へえ。いいね。俺も基本的にあらゆるものは気に入らない。下手に気を許されるとイラつくんで、それぐらいがちょうどいい。こういうのも気が合うっていうのかね。
That's fine. Basically, I hate all things too. It'd piss me off if you let your guard down, so it suits me fine. I think you can call this one way of getting along. The servant shows no signs of caring. I hate him and he doesn't think anything of me. So there will be no cause for friction even if we despise each other, as we have no plans to bond. It weirdly works out.
けどさ、あんたは割と好きな部類に入る。
You know though, I kind of like your type. Except, he just said something odd.
なぜですか？あなたはあらゆるものが気に入らないのでしょう？
Why? You said you hate everything.
マスターとして、あなたがどのようなサーバントかは理解できる。あなたの方向性は人間を好むものではない。
As your master, I know what kind of servant you are. Your course of action is not that of someone who is fond of humans.
とりあえずいい女だからな。気に入らねえけど好感を抱いてるんだ。
Well, for now, I'll just say you're my type of woman. I don't like you, but I got some affection for you.
私が女だからという理由ですか？
The reason is because I am a woman?
女じゃなくていい女。あんたさ、えらくそそるんだよ。
Not a woman, my type of woman. You're the kind that excites me.
体つきも好みなんだが、優等生なところとか、一般論を守ろうとしてるところとか、みっともなさすぎて見ていられない。
You've got the kind of body I like, but parts of you, like the elite schoolgirl or the one that tries to go by society's norms, just painful to look at.
わかる？こんな単一機能を発揮しただけの仕事じゃなく、何らかの意味を持って殺したくなる。
Dude, this...
あんたは
so
俺を欲情
twisted.
させてるってこと？
You understand me? This here was just me carrying out my one function like it's my job, but you're turning me on enough to make me want to find a real reason to kill you. Yikes, man. Shadow laughs. Intent flows in through our connected paths, so dense I can physically feel it. Die. Oh my god, you see it? His servant isn't lying. He hates all things. By nature, he sees everything as an object to kill without reason or reward. There can be no other explanation. Not for this pure hatred that can turn into a curse without having to use the incendiary device of magic, just by existing. But that leaves me with questions. Someone with as much bloodlust as him to not kill me earlier doesn't make any sense.
先ほどの話ですが、
About what you said earlier.
あなたはまず私を殺すと言い、それを抑えた。
You said that you would kill me first, but restrained yourself.
私に欲情しているあなたが例樹なしで、どうやって私への欲求を抑えたのですか？
How did you hold back your lust for me without being under the influence of the command spell?
ああ、あんたはマスターだからな。あんたは人間じゃないって
What?
さっきルールを作ったところ。
Huh? Yeah, that's cause you're my master. I just made this rule that you're not human.
まあ要するにこの世で唯一殺す気になれない生き物になったってわけ。
To get right down into it, you just became the only living thing I don't feel like killing.
見てくれは女だけど中身は人間じゃないっつが攻略対象外の生物にカテゴライズしたんだよ。
Holy shit. On the outside, you might be a woman, but the inside? Not human at all. You've been categorized outside of my playing range. That was direct. For some reason, I find his answer incredibly hurtful. I know, right? Because Bazette, she seems like, as far as mages go, pretty good, but... Alright, man, alright.
私を人間扱いしないと？
You are not going to treat me as a human being? I've heard people say before that I'm boring or that I'm not charming. This has to be the first time I wasn't treated like a woman. No, he said as a human being, but that is how it sounded to me.
あれ、信用できねえか？最大限の情報なんだぜ。こんなの最初で最後の特例なんだぞ。
Or could be he meant like because he sees human beings as like the way he sees humanity, he would expect her to be like more bloodthirsty and go along with killing, but because she's not like that, he does categorize her as not human. Could be that. Oh, you can't trust me? This is the best I'm gonna offer. The first and last exception I'm ever gonna make, you know?
くそ、頭くるな。こっちは本気なのに。
Shit, pissing me off. I'm being serious here.
はいはい、そうですか。形のないものは見えませんか。しょうがない。こういうのなら信用できる？
Okay, I get it. You won't believe it without something to show for it. Alright, fine. If I give you this, will you trust me? Give you this. Also, I might have to look up who Bazette and his voice actors, who their voice actors are. Because at first I was like, I think I recognize Bazette, but I might know his too. I'm really bad at recognizing voice actors sometimes. So he interpreted my silence as suspicion. He tears out a page of a notepad from the blood-soaked desk and writes something on it.
おい、これあげる。誰かに譲ったりしないように。
Here you go. Don't give it to anybody else. Certificate of exemption from murder, valid until the end of Holy Grail War. In well-written Japanese. A fucking certificate to not be killed by him. Jeez.
何ですかこれは？
What is this?
何って？人間じゃない証明書。
What do you mean what? Is this proof that you're not a person?
これなら誰が見てもあんたは攻略対象外ってわかるだろ。
With this, anybody can tell that I'm not into you. Good for you, he says, pushing the piece of paper into my hands. Yes, my judgment was correct. The servant and I are hopelessly doomed to not get along. We cannot afford to stay at the murder scene forever. Hurriedly, we leave the residence behind. I have my complaints with my servant acting without my permission, but it is already too late. By continuing to argue with him, the only thing that would result is further mistrust. However, there is one thing I feel that is strange about him. I cannot trust this servant. Masters and servants are linked. Because of that, I can feel that he is fundamentally the kind that enjoys murder and completely kills his opponent ruthlessly, no matter who or what. He is my complete opposite. I complete my missions without leaving room for personal feelings. However, this servant does so only with personal feelings. He operates only on the emotion of wanting to kill people. But despite that...
なんだ？よそに行くんじゃないのか、マスター。
What? Didn't you say you want to leave?
それともあれか？ここで異常を聞きつけてきたマスターどもをはめ殺すかい？
Oh, I get it. You're planning on ambushing the other masters dumb enough to investigate this mess, right?
そんな見えすいた罠にかかる魔術師はいませんし、戦闘は第2段階からです。
A magus wouldn't fall for a trap as obvious as that, and I told you that combat is reserved for the second stage.
まずは調査からと言ったでしょう。
We will proceed with information gathering, remember?
いや、結構いそうだぜ、間抜けなルーキーは。
Nah, I'm betting there will be a stupid rookie around.
例えば、夜の巡回に精を出して勝手に死んでそうなやつとかな。
Like the kind that goes on nightly patrols every night and drops dead.
下調べなんてやってたら他の連中に食われるってのがわからねえんだよ。ほんと、富士の善人だね、ありゃ。
You wouldn't figure out that going around doing his homework would just get him wasted by the other masters. Terminally ill with goodness, ain't he? Uh-huh. I ignore my servant's chatter and walk ahead. And yet, despite all of his negative points, I don't feel that this servant is unpleasant. He is the kind of human being that I despise the most. I cannot tolerate him on any level. So why is it that I can't completely hate him? I close my eyes and focus on our link. In exchange for the flowing magical energy sometimes, I feel something very refreshing. A feeling of homesickness rubbing against the heart, a prayer resembling longing. How hollow. Ataraxia? That void tells me something. I don't understand the clear reason why, but it tells me this servant will never betray me. Interesting. It tells me that he will lend me his chaotic will to grant my wish. Yeah, and he said he knew her wish. We resume our patrol. What an interesting sequence. I still don't really fully know what to think of everything. Like, context is very lacking right now. But I'm rolling with it. Despite the relationship between Bazette and him. Despite being who he is and who we know who he is, like, I feel like... yeah, this... more insight into him. And her as well. This night we focus our investigation on Shinto. The Shinto investigation ends in about 2 hours. We were unable to detect any traces of magi. In addition, the presence of the mysterious things the servant mentioned was confirmed. Part of me finds it hard to believe, but Fuyuki has indeed completely changed. All over I can feel an unusual presence. It is as if we are always being watched. The city has begun to come apart at the seams ever so slightly. On a different note, while there are many traces of magical energy, there are absolutely no signs of magic being performed. Which would mean that this isn't the work of a master gathering magical energy. The only feasible possibility is that there is something feeding on the inhabitants of this city unrelated to the war. Okay, so this is this Medea feeding on the townsfolk? Because before it seemed like people were being killed. And with him mentioning that everyone's like leaving town, like, oh, someone didn't evacuate. And then the thing that killed the people in there. But now it's saying unrelated to the war. No master would benefit from this. Doing this would instead force a halt to the Holy Grail War.
そうか。聖杯戦争を聞きつけた外来の魔術師なら。
I see. If it was an outside magus that had heard about the Holy Grail War, that would mean there is a magus that desired the Holy Grail, but was not chosen as a master. Perhaps out of a twisted desire for vengeance, he is trying to disrupt the ritual. Another possibility was he made a contract with another association to disrupt the Holy Grail War. Those would be crazy. Regardless, it is obvious that there is an 8th magus in Fuyuki.
8人目？もう一人邪魔者が増えたってのか？
An 8th one? You're telling me another nuisance popped up?
断言はできませんが、その確率が高い。
I cannot say for sure, but there is a high likelihood that it is true.
私の知らない魔術師が第5次聖杯戦争に介入しようとしているのは確かだ。
It is clear that an unidentified magus is trying to intervene in the 5th Holy Grail War.
その魔術師の目的は分かりませんが。
I have no idea what his objective may be, but we're starting off by breaking the rules of the Holy Grail War. Maybe best to think of him as not just my enemy, but as the enemy of all the masters.
へえ。そいつ、どんなやつ？
I mean, as far as another mage just interfering with the war, that only reminds me of a certain priest, but I don't know. So much is different here that it's like I'm trying to just see. Oh, so what's this guy like?
直接的な戦闘に自信がなく、広範囲の結界作りを得意としている。攻めより守りが向いているのでしょう。
Skilled at constructing large-scale fields, huh? He has no confidence in direct combat, but he is skilled at constructing large-scale fields. He's probably more suited for defense rather than offense. So, someone not great in combat, but skilled in bounded fields. I mean, that just makes me think of Soren, but I don't know why he'd be here.
正しく魔導を学んではいませんね。黒魔術とドルイド思想が混同されている。
Araya Soren. I don't know. He has not studied magic properly, probably. His is a mix of black magic and druid concepts.
そういうんじゃなくてさ、強いか弱いかって話。
No, that's not what I meant. I wanted to know if he's strong or weak.
魔術師としてのスキルは初歩です。ですが、
As a mage, his skill is elementary. However, black magic and druid concepts. The remaining magical energy traces were extremely dense. Magical energy is only fuel to activate magic. By itself, it has no effect. However, there are cases when it can leave behind a form, only limited to those times when magical energy itself bears traits similar to magic. For example, I've heard that the Einzburns gave a personality to their Holy Grail. If that personality has magical energy, then it naturally possesses the magic trait of wish granting. Since its vital activity and its functions as the Holy Grail are likely directly connected to each other, it should be able to perform miracles resembling magic merely by releasing magical energy. So, yeah. For sure. The incarnated demons spoken of by the Holy Church also fall into this category. Those that were created as demons rather than as life forms can use higher level magic than humans. Yeah, so like with Ilya, the reason like she didn't have to learn magic, she can just use it by her existence. But incarnated demons? As Magi, our magic circuits are nothing more than pseudo-nerves, an ability that was added later behind our nervous system. Shout out to Solomon. However, demons have no need for those. Other organic functions merely serve the purpose of invoking the demonic. I hear the church calls these true demons. Different from imposters that don a hide of human concepts to become a unique identity, they are genuine demons that the Lord had commanded before man would name them, or so I hear. Interesting. So who would be an example of a true demon?
何にせよ、厄介な介入者のようです。
Regardless, it appears that he is a dangerous interloper.
つまらない行動原理の魔術師なら取るに足りませんが、教会に雇われたフリーランスだとしたら侮れない。
If this magus is a careless fool, we need not heed attention to him. If, however, he is a freelancer hired by the church, he will be a force to be reckoned with.
そういえば、前回の聖杯戦争で勝ち残ったのも確か。
Now that I think about it, the one who won the previous war was a freelance magus hired by the Einzburns. His name was Emiya Kiritsugu. R.I.P. A combat magus called in by the Einzburns, who had retired from the front lines by the time I had been assigned to sealing missions. Oh yeah, Bazette is on the craft essence sealing designation. Her art is on it in FGO. So I guess yeah, that's she does sealing missions. Our occupations have the tendency to intrude on each other's territory. Had he still been active, I would likely have fought him numerous times. Oh my god. What a hell of a fight that would have been. Just going off what I know about Carrie. While the situation is becoming more unstable, I can't change my policy just because of one more enemy. I will proceed with an investigation of all the masters, causing as little damage to the people of the city as possible. The problem is what to do next. Then again, Carrie is the mage killer. Like, he knows how to kill mages better than anyone. So, likely he could just shoot her, and it'd be origin rounds. I mean, it is what it is, man. I think I just want to know what Bazette can do. We'll proceed with the investigation of all the masters, causing as little damage to the people of this city as possible. The problem is what to do next. It is obvious that my servant's abilities are low ranking. In a straight-out fight on pure ability, he will eventually exhaust himself and lose. I have to think of an order of who to fight, but I know very well who our final opponent ought to be. The lineage of Holy Grail is the Einsburn. It has been said that they have prepared the most powerful master for this war. In the past, I have fought a homunculus created by the Einsburns. Oh, you have? Being a failed creation facing disposal, it ran away from Einsburn territory and survived by scraping out a meager existence in the human city. That's really sad. Oh my god, one of their homunculi escaped. That's so sad. I tried to live its life. I was responsible for destroying it, but the results were bitter. Even considering that at the time I was still inexperienced, the Einsburn produced homunculus was tougher than many magi. The same Einsburns that produced a master for this battle that they believed to be the most powerful. In all honesty, I can't even begin to see any chance of victory at this stage. So I discovered what tricks the enemy has up their sleeves. Fighting against the Einsburns is suicidal. Also, Hercules. Ilya and Hercules, big combo. In the forest on the outskirts of the city lies the old castle that the Einsburns control. The day we invade that forest will most likely be the day my Holy Grail War will end. Oh dear. YORO Bazet. The last place we come to is a Hilltop Graveyard for foreigners. I suppose it's because of the Einsburns casting a shadow over my mind. I feel weak and disoriented from a headache. I really didn't want to come here.
どうしたマスター？考え事か？
What's wrong, Master? Got something on your mind? My unease must have shown on my face. My servant is actually showing concern for my health. I allow myself to be taken in by his sudden consideration.
つまらない質問ですが、
Allow me to ask you a foolish question.
あなたは私が勝てると思いますか？
Do you believe that I can win? I put into words that weak uncertainty that I had tried not to think about. The servant's expression changes. Keeping his mouth twisted with sarcasm, he turns his back to me.
その不安はまだ早い。
Still early to be worried about that.
勝つか負けるかなんだ。何を倒すかを決めてからなんだが。
Whether you win or lose, you have to first figure out what to fight, but... His voice is strained. He is bent forward like a beast with prey before his eyes.
ついてねえな。
God damn, it's just not my day.
どうやら悠長に悩む時間はないみたいだぜ。
Looks like we don't have time to be worrying. He is grinning. What he sees is a master and servant. Oh my god, who is it? Yeah. I feel a powerful flow of magical energy. The command spells on her left hand shine brightly. She is still young, but perhaps to possess wisdom that far surpasses my own.
はじめまして。ひなびた荒野の魔術師さん。
Oh my god. Why is she dressed like this? I didn't recognize her. I see the red. Like her. I was like, Rin? But what is this outfit? And why is she speaking like this? Good evening, mages of the valley peasants.
どう？お互いの名を知る必要はあるかしら。
I wonder if there's a need to introduce ourselves. She's probably from one of the great houses. Her eyes are full of derision. Wait. Oh my god. To her side is another figure. Cannot tell which class she belongs to, but the fact that a master brought her means she must be a servant. Hey, what? No, that's Sakura, right? Wait, what the fuck? Oh my god. Guys. The outfits are gorgeous. They look fantastic. Goddamn, but what is going on, honestly? I remove the leather gloves inscribed with runes of protection from my chest pocket. I take them out along with something hard. I was like carrying this earring. Why had I tucked it away so carefully? These questions rise to the surface, but now isn't the time for that. There's so much mystery to what's going on. Why are Rin and Sakura here at the church? Why are they dressed like this? Why are they about to put the gloves on? It's very cool. Yeah, she said her gloves have runes of protection. The girl waits politely for me to make my move. I regret not bringing rock with me. If I survive, I'll make sure to carry it, even if I am out only for investigations. Well, I shouldn't use my trump card immediately, having it increases the range of my strategy. This is nuts, dude. I will determine how strong the enemy is. You will engage the servant. Dude, what is this fight about to be? What is going on? Gotcha. Not taking any care to see what she would do, he rushed towards the girl's servant. Two figures clash. I passed by the side and ran towards the defenseless master. Defenseless. Huh. Oh my god. Oh my god. EDELFELTS? Why are Rin and Sakura repping EDELFELTS? Because yeah, they're dressed like Olivia would dress and they're speaking like her as well. What the fuck? Were they both adopted by the EDELFELTS? What the fuck happened, dude? So you're only a nameless peasant. Very well. Be honored to be killed by the EDELFELTS. She fired a scatter of Gander. Dude, just machine gun Gander. A one-action spell preventing close combat. Her magecraft is a firearm in itself. This isn't a metaphor. He reminds me of Luvia's Gander from Lord Elmaloid II's case files. Because she was nuts with the Gander in that. And her, like, wrestling moves. And I've never seen Rin use it this proficiently, so... yeah, this is pretty nuts. EDELFELTS, a noble family of Finland. The Ore Scales, the same EDELFELT that produced many masters of the Gander. This generation's young head was praised as the pride of their lineage, but now that I've seen how skilled she is, I can agree. Yo, I don't block the Gander aimed at both sides of my thigh. I keep moving, parrying only the Gander that would hit my upper body with my left fist. You blocked my Gander with only your bare hands? Listen, man. This is kind of hype, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I am honestly excited about what's going on. Like, dude, this is pretty nuts. This is like... this feels like the greatest official fanfiction there ever was. I move in. My right fist lowered to the base of my chest, strikes aimed at the side of her stomach where her kidneys are. Yo. Those magic-powered fists. I am blown backwards. A figure approaching from behind her protects her from a body blow and repels me. What the fuck? Saber? What the fuck is going on? The swordsman stands in my way. A servant. There's no denying it. That is a servant. Then who is the... The moment I look away to confirm, the battle is over. Saber, help! The other girl screams. Oh. Why Saber alter now? What the fuck is going on? Oh, stop it. Dude, stop this. Saber defeats my servant just as the girl had ordered her to. How appallingly weak. Just one flash of steel, not even able to match sword against sword. My servant has his neck pierced and is already gone. Yeah, we heard him disappear. Dude! Dude, this better be like Bazette better still be sleeping, dude. What is going on? Pathetic. This has gotten dull.
セイバー、手っ取り早く片付けなさい。帰って熱いコーヒーを楽しみましょう。
Saber, end this quickly. When you're done, let's go back and enjoy a hot cup of coffee. Also, it's interesting, usually with Saber we can see the invisible air around her sword. Can't see it at all. Like we see it how others see it now. Saber nods silently. What the fuck? Oh wow. Really? We're doing this beautiful CG again? This is how the Fate Stay Night prologue ended. I am defeated without being able to prepare my weapon. So this is Saber. This doesn't make any sense. The two girls are each using a different saber. Yeah, what the fuck? Wait, yeah, Rin has Saber. And then Sakura, and it didn't sound like Sakura, or maybe, I don't know. A lot's going on. And then they commanded Saber Alter. What the fuck's going on? What's going on? The two girls are each using a different saber.
下調べが足りなかったようね。
Seems your investigation was inadequate.
エーデルフェルトの当主は常に姉妹だと。
Have you
あ
never
なた
heard?
の耳には届かなかったのかしら。
Have you never heard that the heads of the Edelfelt family are always sisters? Wait, who's Luvia's sister then? Anyway, sisters. That is the magic trait of their bloodline. But here, straight up, it's just Rain and Sakura. Wait, what? The normally abhorrent notion of having two successors was the reason why they were called scales. Then the two of them are one master and summon two different sides of the same heroic spirit. Oh my god. So that's what happens if the sister Edelfelts compete and they summon the same class. They get two different versions. What? The scales. Oh my god. Because yeah, it reminds me of the Fate Apocrypha timeline. By the way, skip ahead if you don't want spoilers on this. If you somehow haven't seen it. Like in Fate Apocrypha, they don't say this in the anime, but outside info, so this isn't really spoilers for the anime at all because they never address this. But yeah, they confirmed that in that timeline, Sakura is sent to live with the Edelfelts. You know, obviously do the one successor thing, and she actually ends up pretty good and happy over there. So, but this is insane.
まず一人、私たちの手にかかることを光栄に、一番初めに倒されることを恥と知りなさい。
That is one down. The honor to have been killed by us and squirm in the humiliation of being the first to be defeated.
残るマスターはこれであと5人ですわ。
There are now 5 masters remaining. Her voice echoed to the moon. Saber, silently and without showing any hint of emotion, thrust her sword into my chest. Then we woke up, right? This isn't real, right? My conscience is being severed. The moon is cycling like a white skull. Thus comes the end of my Holy Grail War. Once again. Yeah. Losing sight of the ending without conclusion. The curtains fall. What the hell? Next, 2 Heaven's Feel Back Night 2. Oh my god. Yo. Oh, the opening. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit, dude. I think this messed up my capture, but hopefully you can see it. Whoa. Hey. Yeah, the red thing they see in the sky, I think that's what they were talking about. And then this girl, who we saw go through Ryudo in the corner of Shiro's eye. There's the Grail in the sky we're used to seeing. Huh, yeah, you see everyone here and Ryder with the glasses. Wait, what? I'm sorry? Was that Kid Gilgamesh? I'm fucking sorry? And then that earring. Huh. This opening's a banger, by the way. Oh god. Is that Shiro reaching for it at the top there? What the hell? Oh my god. Okay. No, really, did I just see Kid Gilgamesh there? Are my glasses like... Oh. It was a dream. Son of a bitch. Alright, thanks. Jesus. Alright, we saw... What the fuck, dude? Alright, anyway. Yo, what a start to this visual novel. So we start with the whole, like... So they've debated me twice now. It was kind of... I won't say more obvious with Bizet, because I was still questioning if it was real, because I was kind of rolling with it. I was like, wait, is this is happening? When is this happening? What the hell, Rin and EDELFELTS, Saber and Saber Alter, like... I was like, whoa. How was Shiro dreaming of Bizet? He never met her, didn't he? Yeah, he would have never met her. She died before the war. Are you having that dream, Shiro? Anyway, yeah, that opening was crazy. Well played, Hollow Ataraxia. Well played. I think that's where I'm gonna call it for now. We're gonna continue next time. See what Shiro has to say about this dream. Looks like we're in the shed. Truly a place of comfort. And yeah, what a damn start. See you next time. Peace.